guys, welcome to another episode of Unqualified Experts. Nick is on sabbatical. But we have filling in another Basile. We have his sister Jenna.
Hi guys, how are you? It is great to be back and I'm so excited to do this episode.
Thank you so much for coming back. Everybody loved you.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh my goodness.
It was such a fun episode.
I had people after that podcast send me DMs on Instagram.
That's awesome.
I know, telling me like, hey, not even to be weird, I just love your episode. And I've never felt so valued by like your fans. I loved it. It was great. It was weird.
Awesome
weird,
fans.
Yeah. No, they were great.
See, you guys are awesome. Thanks, guys, for being so cool.
Oh my God, they make me feel so good about myself.
They're such good people, especially like when you do so many different podcasts and things like that. Not everybody is so nice.
Yeah.
And so I'm always so thankful for my people. I'm like, they're all so cool.
Oh no, they are. All of them were lovely.
Good. You hear that, you guys? You're lovely. Absolutely wonderful. So we're going to jump right in today. We're going to help the internet as we did last time. We're going to give them our best advice.
Yes.
I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, last time we were giving advice on someone wanting to date their foster mom. So
yeah.
Let's see what today brings.
Well, the first one is during a lunch break, me and other coworkers sat down together and ate lunch. During that lunch, a friend asked me to rate them from a scale on 1 to 10, the looks of a coworker who was sitting with us, and she agreed. All right, my friend asked me, okay, so the woman agreed to being rated.
Okay, well, here's the thing,
That's on you.
Here's the thing. Was this a man to a girl or a girl to a girl? Like, do we know genders?
I don't know.
So what was the thing? She just wanted to be rated and then what?
I guess that was it. So she's saying during lunch, so she agreed. I'm assuming this is a guy, but it doesn't say.
Right, I'm assuming too.
I think so, yeah. I bluntly said 6, which I thought it was fine because it's above average and that's how I see her. Well, I think she got hurt because she asked me if that's how I really see her and I confirmed it. She looked kind of sad. I honestly didn't know that women think 6 is low. I really think it was fine. How do I apologize now? I feel bad. She's a new worker and I don't want to start off things like that.
I've had this happen to me before.
Have you?
I'm 100%. And like someone told me I was a 6 and I was so upset because for girls, it's like, I guess for guys, they view it as 50 and below is 50 is average because that's dead in the middle.
Right.
For a girl, we don't view 50 as average.
No.
We view 50 as bad.
50 is not good.
You're a 6. And I said, that hurt. That hurt myself. Especially I think I was in high school when that happened.
Oh, that's the worst time for this.
Dead in the middle. I was like, oh. But basically, it had to explain to me that 50 is dead in the middle for a man. And women want to be more towards like 70, 80s.
Of course.
That's like good
7 or 8 is like, all right, cool.
And right. And we also will view it too, like that's just it. So someone had to explain to me that 5 is in the dead middle. So that's actually what average is. And like, if you're going low, it's like, okay, 1, 2, like you're
that's
not
bad.
Good, and it's like, you're working your way up to the dead middle. So for this person, I would say, explain it to her like that. Like, hey, if you're asking a numbers game, 50 is dead in the middle. So you're above average. I think you are pretty.
You know what? I think that's a great way of putting it.
Right.
Yeah, just explain that from your point of view. This is why I don't rate me.
I know, right? I'm like, please don't comment on that I'm a 6.
No.
I don't want to hear it.
You're not a 6, first of all.
Thank you.
Fucking crazy person. Whoever that person is going to smack them.
It's a man, so they thought I was
thought that was good.
Average, right? They said I was not hot, but pretty. And I went, but there's also like a compliment behind that too. Like I was like, okay, I'm not like hot, but like pretty girls they're pretty.
Pretty girls are pretty. Pretty girls are pretty. It's a weird thing where like when you're agreeing to get rated, that's kind of on her. So you're being nice and being caring about her feelings and considerate and wanting to make things right because you feel bad, which is great. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But also she kind of went into it knowing the risks. If someone was like, hey, rate me, I'd be like, please fucking don't. I don't want to know.
You just lie. I mean, as a girl, like I feel like I lie to people because I don't want them to make them feel bad, you know?
Yeah.
Like even if you are just an average looking girl, I'll be like, oh no, you're like a 6.5.
You're beautiful.
You know, like 6.5,
really 4.5.
7. But either way, you know that if someone's asking you to rate them, like, hey, rate me. What do you think about me? They're insecure.
They already have insecurities.
They want to know. And as someone who came from being very insecure, like, I don't want you to rate me.
No. I don't want to know any of that.
Just lie at that point.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I think your advice is spot on. Just tell her like, hey, look, I think you're pretty. I think you're above average. To me, that's a great score. Are you a supermodel? Like, I wouldn't expect any. Right. I'll just say this. I wouldn't expect anyone to rate me a 10 because I look at 10s and I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, you're not that.
But here's the other thing. It's also the eye of the beholder. True. My boyfriend, in all honesty, will show me pictures of girls and go, this girl is so pretty. And I'll look and I'll go, I'm not into a whole bunch of makeup and and just caking it on and that. So for me, I don't find that pretty. You know?
But some people do.
When you just cake on a whole bunch of makeup and it's like your everyday look. So for me, it's like, maybe she's pretty, but I literally can't tell. So for me, she's not a 10. But for my boyfriend, this girl's a 10, you know? But I respect it. That's just...
Well, and also, even amongst men, like one man will be like, oh my God, this is my dream woman. And some other guy will be like, yeah, like really? That's your dream woman? Right. So like, that's the other thing too. There's so much to be said for what different people find attractive. Right. I was talking to Jim about this, Norton, recently. And it's funny because I was talking about how my preferences are always a little bit like... I tend to like kind of skinnier guys, a little pale, slightly crooked teeth. And he's like, I bet you're into Steve Buscemi, aren't you? And I was like, you know what? Young Steve Buscemi was pretty handsome. And he's like, I knew it.
I like it how you described that though. And you like, minus the crooked teeth, perfectly described my brother.
Well, he does have slightly crooked bottom teeth. And I really...
Oh yeah, all of us do.
He threatens to get it fixed all the time. And I'm like, no! Don't fix your teeth. I love them.
I say the same thing when guys like get haircuts and they edge their beards and all sorts of stuff. I don't like that.
Oh, I hate that.
It's too perfect.
It's weird.
And this is my annual let's get my life together just because I'm on film. Normally, I've got no makeup on. Hair's a mess. I've got like...
You don't need makeup.
Crazy baby hairs. Thank you so much.
Your skin is perfect.
And that's like... Yeah, because I literally don't wear makeup. My face breaks out if I do. So I'm going to wake up tomorrow with like breakouts. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't like clean cut.
No,
if you're
I'm
too
with
clean
you.
cut, that's not me.
A little scruff is cute. But yeah, when you start shaping it, I'm 100% with you on that. It's too much. So yeah, that being said, beholder. Yes, absolutely true. So think about that. Moving on. So, oh boy. So this all started last year. I, a 25-year-old female, and had a girlfriend, Garnet. I don't know if that's a real name or not. Also a 29-year-old female. And it was a great relationship. No fights. We had heaps of fun. And I thought nothing was wrong. Unfortunately, I found my girlfriend having sex with my brother, who's a 27-year-old male.
No.
That sucks. It was devastating and heartbreaking seeing the two people I adored stab me in the back. So I ran and stayed with a friend until I got myself a permanent place over the next few months. I kept my distance, but my parents every now and again would tell me how Rugby and Garnet got together and how Garnet is pregnant. Her brother is Rugby. Yes. They got together and now she's pregnant. I didn't comment on it because I just grew hate for them slowly over time. Understandable.
Yeah.
Anyway, fast forward to last week, I was invited to a family gathering and so was Garnet, Ruby, and their daughter Sapphire. Are these real names or did she just make up these names? I'm assuming she made them up. But,
yeah, I would assume so.
Right?
Well, yeah.
I tried to stay away from them because I was still hurt just seeing them, but my aunt and brother came over and said hello, which I just nodded and walked away. My God, stop being rude and say hello to your brother. I'm assuming the aunt said that. I turned around and said, I have no brother. He died when he thought it was a good idea to stab me in the back. The family and I had an argument saying I should be happy that a miracle was made, and so I left so they could enjoy their miracle and be a perfect family. They've been texting me ever since saying how I'm selfish and how I should stop so the family can be happy. I just need to know, should I just try to bottle my hatred for Garnet and Rugby so the peace can be kept or cut contact?
I think you should have a conversation. And I think your family is in the complete wrong for telling you how you need to feel because they were being crappy people. That's just point blank it. If you're crappy, you suck. I don't care if you're related to me or not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Don't to bottle your hate. No, what fucking good does that serve? And then you have to go be miserable when you see them for the family. Obviously, your family doesn't give a shit about you because not only did your brother do that to you, which is beyond garbage, I can understand if they came to you first and were like, look, we fell in love. We haven't done anything yet. Like, I'm breaking up with you. I just want you to know, like, I really love this person. I want to be with them for the rest of my, that still hurts. But Jesus, at least they said something to you.
Even now, even it's like, okay, you've cheated and you were a scumbag, fine. If they came to the sister and sat her down and the ex-girlfriend or brother went, look, we're so sorry we did this to you. We want to make things right. You know, we want to see each other and make amends, apologize, be civil adults. Yeah. Regardless if you have hatred for them after the fact or not, like, that's totally fine. But they made the effort to, like, sit down with you and have that conversation. And it sounds like they didn't. And it sounds like your family is just not considerate of anyone except for probably themselves. Because what I'm gathering is the family's uncomfortable. Like, for example, the aunt said, why don't you go say hello to your brother? Right. So the aunt definitely felt uncomfortable seeing the type of relationship that was going on because of what happened.
That tension.
So she is now commenting. Your parents are now commenting. Other people are now commenting because they feel uncomfortable watching it, even though it's like that has nothing to do with them, you know? Yeah. If you're going to have a family gathering, invite all the same people, like, that's your call.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's kind of your fault.
Ridiculous. They didn't even try.
No.
And the fact that they're giving you shit over it, like, hey, get over the fact that your girlfriend cheated on you with your brother. That's not a small betrayal. Yeah, that's trash. That's garbage. It's really shitty that they did that. So, yeah, definitely screw them. I would cut contact for as long as you need to feel better and don't feel bad about it.
And if people come to you and, like, give you crap for it, just be like, hey, you know, you don't treat me right. Why should I be around people that don't treat me right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, 100%. No, and you know, exactly. Life is too short to be around people that treat you like crap. Ugh, just garbage. I was just having this conversation last night with one of my co-hosts on It's Eric Nagel, Eric and Giddles, and we were just talking about shitty family members. And I haven't talked to my grandmother in probably 13 or 14 years. And she sometimes tries to message me and make me feel guilty about it. Basically saying, like, how could you? She's like, how could you do this to your grandmother? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you are a terrible person. And you don't make my life better in any way. You've been garbage to nobody in the family really talks to her either. Her one remaining daughter who's still alive cut her out years ago. It's like, if that doesn't tell you what you need to know about yourself, then I can't help you.
Yep. Won't even touch that one because I can open up a whole can of worms.
Yeah, family. Oh, boy. Moving on. Before we get into that craziness. Oh, boy, this is a fun one. Weird gynecologist question. Was my gyno weird for saying this? He asked if I get eaten out. I don't mind the question, but I feel like it's kind of a crude way of saying oral sex, and I'd expect more from a professional. Gender doesn't matter. I'd find it off-putting if a woman OBGYN said this too. He said the reason he asked is because mouthwash before him eating me out will help prevent UTIs when that's not even true. Am I looking too much into this, or is this a red flag? If it makes you uncomfortable, it's a red flag.
Yeah, I can agree in the sense that getting eaten out was not the terminology I would have been comfortable with. I don't even like saying it, like, in private. Even if we were off camera, whatever, and I was just talking to Xia and I was like, do you get eaten out? Like, ew, I don't like it.
It's kind of creepy, right?
I don't like it. I just, like, I don't like it. I'm the type of girl, I think girls are hot. I want to make out with girls. Like, girls are my thing. But I also think, like, that can get a little personal and can be gross. And it can just be something that, like, I don't know, even though you think it's hot, like, I still don't want to talk about it, you know?
Going down on, I prefer.
Yes.
But also not from a gynecologist. That's still oral. That's still oral.
Yeah.
And I'm not a gynecologist. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if it's true that mouthwash before will help prevent UTIs. This person's saying it's not.
That actually, I'm pretty sure will irritate.
Okay, so it would make things worse.
Yes. So, no, like, I am almost certain, because if you're, like, brushing your teeth and stuff, yeah, that's great because you're killing bacteria. Yeah. But if you have, like, toothpaste and other stuff, I am almost certain that could cause, like, burning sensations and things.
So then maybe this gynecologist doesn't know what they're talking about, and they might not be the person to listen to.
I could be wrong, but I just know it could burn.
Well, it is minty.
And you probably shouldn't be
a sensitive area.
There. It's not like you would, like, put that on yourself, you know. So, like, why would you want someone to mouthwash before?
That's a good point. And if that isn't true, if you look that up and that's actually not a true thing, then I think you need to be comfortable with your gynecologist no matter what.
Yes.
So if this is something where you're like, oof, I didn't like that, even if it's maybe not necessarily something to worry about, I still think you should find another one.
Yeah, no, I can agree. And maybe he was just trying to be, you know,
hip with the kids.
Right. I was just going to say, it was just trying to be relatable. And it's like, I missed the mark on that, but okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Hello, fellow kids. That meme. And you're like, no. No.
Here's the other thing, too. Maybe he also means, like, if you did it, like, a half an hour before.
Oh,
because
maybe.
I'm talking, right? Because if you think of time between or before, I feel like if there's a certain period of time before that can kill other, like, unwanted bacteria, germs, things.
That's a good point.
And if it's a certain, like, wait time, I don't see that actually burning or affecting you. But I'm talking, like, if you're doing that directly before you were going to do that on a person, that I could see as a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, like toothpaste.
You know?
Like, you don't want toothpaste down there.
Put that down there.
It's not going to feel nice. But yeah, I know you're right. If you take time and then it's been a half an hour and it's not in your mouth anymore, but you've just killed the germs.
Right.
Maybe.
I would think for this question, I would honestly say that your gynecologist probably just said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
If he continues to say weird stuff in the future, I would definitely, like, mention something, what to him, to his colleagues, or just, again, switch gynecologists. Whatever the case is.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to, at the end of the day, you have to do what makes you comfortable.
Right.
Like, that's what it comes down to. I'd say, you know, as a woman, if you're going to a gynecologist that you just don't like, they haven't said or done anything, but it kind of just makes you feel uncomfortable. What happened?
I've been through, like, 10 different gynecologists.
Just because you haven't found one that you like?
Well, because all of them told me, like, it's normal that have the issues that I've been having. And the gynecologist I just went to was like, yeah, this is not normal. And I told her things I've been dealing with for about 4 years now.
Wow.
4 years that I just thought that I was just one of those weird cases no one can figure out. And I'm just, this is my new normal. This is what doctors told me. My new normal is, like, the issues I've been having. And it turns out I have 2 active infections from my IUD that are, like, in my cervix. So I'm on, like, medication now. And then I had a 3rd infection that caused a UTI. So I had 3 active infections. Still do. I still have 2 active infections right now that they're treating with medication. But I also have to get my IUD pulled. See, because it's harboring bacteria in my cervix. Ugh. And I'm just one of those people that they found out that even though I've had my IUD for 4 years now, or 3 years, 3 or 4 years. I'm at the last year that it needs to get pulled anyway. But they said, like, let's pull it out now. Like, don't get a new one. And that's something that I just so happened to find a gynecologist that said, oh, let me test you for this instead of just telling me this is normal. And I was straight, like, upfront with her. I said, if you tell me this is normal and do nothing, I said, I'm switching gynecologists, and this is my first time meeting you. That was the first thing I said to the woman. She went, yeah, that makes sense. Let's test you for a bunch of stuff. And they found I have, like, all these, like, infections wrong with me.
Well, yeah, because typically, I understand that some doctors get people that come, hypochondriacs.
Right.
People that
and
come
they, like,
in.
Read WebMD and they think, like, they have all this stuff wrong with them.
And, like, I get that. But also, at the end of the day, no one knows their own body better than themselves. Like, you know when something's not right. You know when something's wrong. And sometimes, look, it might be a psychological thing because that happens too. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't take away the fact that whatever you're dealing with is something that you're dealing with. So, and I feel like that's common in the medical field. Where
it really is. Doctors nowadays, unfortunately, like, they suck.
Yeah, they just don't listen to you when you're like, but I'm telling you, this is what I'm feeling. And they're like, oh, well, and you're like, but, and then it'll be, you know, you hear about that. I went to 20 doctors before they finally found it, and then they actually find something wrong. And you're just like, finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Like your doctors, if you don't like them, just switch.
Yes.
It's not worth your health. You know, it's not worth being compromised for that long because some doctor told you were fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could not agree more.
Says the girl who's had 3 infections for the last 4 years.
Which is insane, by the way.
Oh, it's insane. And like, I found out that it's, like, not that big of a deal. 1 infection is rare in people my age. And if it went untreated, I could have, like, a whole bunch of other things wrong with me. But, I mean, they got it, I guess. I'm going back for testing soon, so.
I mean,
we'll see.
Fingers crossed that just gets rid of it. Jeez. Yeah, I've heard of that about IUDs too. I thought about IUDs, but I read into it a bit and I was like, I'm good. I know it works for a lot of people, but it can also be really scary.
Mine sucks.
Yeah.
Mine's horrible.
Yeah, no, we're just going to keep using the no birth control method. Says the girl who doesn't want kids.
I was just going to say, I'm like, you?
Yep. But look,
she said the pull and pray is what she said.
The pull and pray.
The pull and pray.
Yeah, that one, you know. Oh boy. Okay, so this, usually I don't read the titles of these because then it explains it in the question.
Right.
This one just says new boyfriend sleeps with his ... So this will be fun.
Ooh.
Wow. So I've been crushing on this guy for a long while, and he recently confessed to me that he also likes me. And I was like, great. We're both teenagers, FYI. Oh, you're so young. It's so cute when they're little.
I love that when it's like, aw.
You're like, oh,
do you like me?
Yeah. Like you think, oh, everything is so intense and everything, means what's the word I'm looking for? Everything's so important. And then you get older and you look back and you're like, oh God. Anyway, we've been going out for around 2 weeks now, and so far it's been going great. But he revealed that he still sleeps with his mother at night. And
What?
Okay. And his reasoning is, quote, I guess I just love my mother too much. I don't really feel comfortable with that, but I don't want to be mean or unreasonable either. He's really sweet towards me, but I genuinely don't think I feel as much attraction towards him as I did before, but I don't want to break it off with him. So what the actual fuck do I do? She wrote that.
So here's the thing. I just was like, does he mean he falls asleep maybe like watching TV in his mom's bed? Like maybe they're watching a movie or something and he'll just like fall asleep and then she just won't wake him up and move him. Because like that I can see happening.
Maybe, but if
I mean, even then it's like you're a teenager, like get the heck out of my bed. But maybe I can see that happening and maybe that's what he means. But if you're just like, yo, mom, scared of the dark. Like I'm scared of the dark and don't sleep with my parents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
I did, what's an embarrassing fact about me? I slept with my mom until I was 10 years old every night.
That's not that crazy.
10 years old? Are you kidding me? That's horrible. That is terrible. No, I was a weirdo kid, and it was because I would wake up. I had insomnia, and they didn't realize until I was, like, I think 13 is when they started, like, medication. So I would wake up every single night, and I was scared of the dark. And I would wake up, and I would see things that weren't there. And then I would freak out and get my mom, and my mom would just, like, she would come into the bed with me, and then I would fall asleep on her arm. But it was every night I either had to fall asleep with her in the bed with me or I would, like, get her in the middle of the night.
I feel like, though, that's a legitimate reason. It's not like you just slept with it. Like, you had the insomnia or, like, phobias.
Yeah, but, like, what 10-year-old can't put themselves to bed? Like, oh, I just woke up and I'm 10, but I'm still scared of the dark.
I mean, I had a cousin who wet the bed until he was 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, so I feel like everyone
sort
of has their thing. To me, that's not crazy because you're still at least a kid. I slept with, slightly different situation. I didn't sleep with my parents probably from about 3. I started sleeping on my own. 3.5, 4.
But I feel like that's normal.
But then after my mom died, I started sleeping with my dad again. It was mostly just because we were all really sad. Like, so me and my sister would also sleep in the bed until we were probably I was like maybe 7 or 8. And then that's when I went back into my own room. So, and even then, like, I think about it, and I'm like 7 or 8, but that's not, I don't know.
The fact is, this man is a teenager.
He is a teenager.
He's a teenager. And I think I would ask him about that, maybe do some digging. One of the questions that, like, I do real estate. I'm an acquisition specialist, so I talk to sellers, convert them, get them to, like, sell me properties and stuff. And one of the things that you have to do when you're doing sales, and a lot of this time you convert it to real life situations. So in this case, if I'm, let's say, for an example, asking about someone's asking price, and a lot of people go, well, what do you want for your house? And people go, well, you called me, you give me a price. I can say, what gets you excited about selling? Paint me a picture of your overall end goal. Do you have money in your pocket? What's going on? So I can get an idea of what's happening and then assess, how do I move the transaction forward? What do I say next to the seller to get them to, 1, like me, 2, know my intentions, but 3, keep it so I have the transaction, like, in line. Mm-hmm. So in this case, if he says, yeah, I sleep with my mom, whatever, and you feel a little weird to ask him questions or whatever thing, be like, hey, I know you said the other day, like, you slept with your mom and everything. You want to just tell me about that? Don't make it, but make it a conversation. Make it like, yeah, like, do you just, like, hang out with her and, like, fall asleep in your bed or something? Or even say, like, oh, haha, sometimes I'll fall asleep on the couch with my parents and stuff. What did you mean by that? You, like, hang out with them? Are you close with them?
Or you sleep with her every night.
Right. Find a way to ask it so it becomes a part of the conversation that allows him to open up. And he can maybe give you more of, like, a clarification on what that means. If it is just, I fall asleep in my mom's bed watching a movie and she doesn't move me type deal. Because I think that's benign. I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's a little bit weird that it's like, it would be like an every night kind of thing.
Yes.
That's like, do you ever like go into your own bed? I would only say that I would say it's probably not an issue because you're a teenager, so it doesn't matter. Right. This is not going to be a long-term relationship and it shouldn't be. I think that, and already if the attraction is waning a little bit, this is, you're young. This is just a boy that you're going to date. I don't think you have to worry about him being an insane mama's boy, which let me tell you right now, I bet that would be a problem for him later in life. But yeah, that's for a future girlfriend to figure out. You don't have to worry about that.
And again, even if you're with him for a long period of time, have an open-ended conversation. Ask open-ended questions, like what goes on? Do you just like fall asleep with your mom and stuff? Whatever.
Do you cuddle?
Yeah.
Is this a cuddling situation? Because if it's a cuddling situation, I don't know. It's hard if you're not attracted to someone anymore because of it, or like you feel that waning, that can be a problem too. So
yeah, no, but I think though, again, because you heard something and now you're suddenly not attracted to the guy, I would get more information on that. But I mean, that's just me.
I might leave. I might just be like, yeah, good. Have fun with your mom. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with being close to your parents and loving your parents. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. But
especially because like parents at that age too, like you're expecting your kid to leave in a couple years for college and literally not see them in the house.
True.
So they're also really holding on to your high school years. True. Like really, really holding on.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Get clarification. Don't make it, why do you sleep with your mom? Make it, like what's going on? Let's talk about it.
Yeah. All right. If you feel like that, then do that. You got two modes. You got two modes of things that you could do.
Yes. A world full of options.
Do what makes you feel the best. Oh God, this one's already terrible. Okay. There we go. Please help me. My mom doesn't care because she's too busy drinking and I don't know what to do. Oh, great. So you have one of those parents. My sister is a 13-year-old female and I am 17. She's a freshman in high school, and a few days ago she told me she's been talking to a 35-year-old man online who says he loves her and wants her to move in with him to take care of her.
No.
I begged her to see sense, and that is not love, but she won't listen. I don't know who this man is, so it's not something I could report to anyone, and she won't tell me more now that I'm suspicious. But she did tell me she's planning to move in with him. They haven't met in real life, according to her, but have talked on the phone. I don't know what words of wisdom I can say to make her see this dangerous situation. Please help me.
Do you want to know something really scary? You could do multiple options here. You can come to her as an adult and your sister, and say, hey, I'm your sister. Clearly, it sounds like you've done that and it hasn't worked. You can literally get the police, someone involved. Like, she is a minor. She is 13. This is a predator. You can get the police or anyone involved at any given time.
That's what I was thinking. Don't they have ways of like going into cell records to find out who this person is? And if this is like a 35-year-old man with a 13-year-old girl, that's...
You can also look up, like in her phone, if you can get his number, half the times you can search that online and see who it's linked to.
Yeah.
A lot of what police will do is they can just pose, or even yourself, you can pose as a fake person. Like, I'm talking like catfish that guy.
Yes.
And then give that to the police. So if you can steal her phone, find out any information or anything, I would try to catfish that guy, give all to the police and go, this is a predator. I'm going to tell a funny story that happened to my brother. So he was talking to, not like my brother here, different brother. He was talking, not Nick. He was talking to this girl on Tinder, and he was being silly about it. I think he was 17 or 18 years old. He was a senior in high school, and he was talking to this girl, and his friends made a fake Tinder account because they didn't like the fact that my brother was on Tinder, and he used to give her home address because he was just a stupid teenager. He was a stupid teenager. He used to give her home address out to like meet up with girls, and they would go out. So his friends got pissed and actually made a fake Tinder, and for like a month kept like going through all Tinders and stuff, and finally matched with my brother, catfished my brother. He fell for two. The girl's name was Candy. They made a fake Tinder of a girl named Candy.
a teenager who's not yet a stripper, and they went with Candy.
And he fell for it. So literally, it took a day of them talking, and my brother, I don't know if it was midnight, 2 a.m., whatever the case, I think it was probably around midnight, he was like, hey, here's my address, come to my house, like, let's go out, whatever. So his friends go in this white van, one of them had a van, and they all packed themselves in this van, and met up. And my brother was dumb enough to still walk up to a giant van, open the door. They like threw a thing over his head, or I don't know if they threw a thing. I think that was the plan. The plan was they wanted to throw something over his head, shove him in the car, and then drive around in a cul-de-sac until he like panicked and freaked out that he was getting kidnapped. But instead, they're all standing there with their shirts off and like rubbing their like nipples and stuff, going Candy.
Oh,
and
wow.
they were like, Rocky, you gave your home address away to meet up with a stranger, and then was dumb enough to go up to a van, proceed to open the door and get in. So I'm not saying do that to your sister, but I'm saying that taught my brother a very valuable lesson, and it taught me a valuable lesson because I was also on Tinder. I was also doing online dating. I was also meeting up with other people, and it really does open, like, not only my brother's eyes that it happened to him, but my eyes, the fact that I was, like, also meeting people I just met on online dating.
Yeah.
So I would literally, like, maybe say, like, hey, try to sneak out, or you can pretend that you're, like, you can literally catfish your sister on a different account. I'm not suggesting it, but I'm also suggesting it because kids need that. No, kids do. I'm sorry,
just to
kids
scare
need
the
that.
shit out of her.
If you don't scare the shit out of kids nowadays, they don't do anything. Like, they're stupid.
A lot of the time, they're not going to listen to you. They have to go through it themselves first. But the problem is there are certain things you don't actually want them to go through because it's really, really dangerous. So if you can sort of simulate that experience instead of just being like, oh, well, one day they'll get raped and murdered. Like, that's not what you want to have happen. I definitely think you should go to the police.
I think that's number one.
Yeah, you need to at least make them aware of the situation so they can keep an eye on it. Maybe you can get them to...
You can call their school. Call their school, too.
Call their school.
I hate to be that girl to, like, get the school involved, but the counselors can, like, literally call her down and be like, hey, someone anonymously said you were talking to someone. This is a predator. This is against the law. This person is trying to legitimately rape you.
Well, and I mean, yeah, that's the other part of it. She's 13 years old and she thinks a 35-year-old man and loves her and is going to take care of her. He's obviously preying on someone who's living in a household where she's not taking care of, where her needs aren't met because she's clearly has an alcoholic mother. So that's the other thing. She's looking for something that she doesn't already have. So she has all kinds of issues that she has to work through to begin with, because I don't think a normal 13-year-old would be like, yeah, let me move in with this 35-year-old man, because that's gross. Like that, you know?
I don't think move in, but like I remember saying this on the last thing. I had someone catfish me when I was 13.
And how old were you? How old were they? Sorry.
They posed as an 18-year-old or 17, 18, worked at Subway for 3 years, whatever. But I was like 13 and this was the first guy who liked me and blah, blah, blah. And I was like ugly. I was a fugly looking kid when I was. I'll pull up pictures and you guys will look.
I've seen you as a kid. You weren't ugly. I've seen pictures of you.
She's lying. No. She is lying.
She had the cute emo hair. I loved your emo hair. Oh, but that's
like after, I'm talking like 13 before all that, though. Before I was a scene kid. Rainbow, cotton candy, crazy hair. It was bracelets, the whole thing. But yeah, I don't know. I got catfished. And again, I didn't realize until after the fact that was a grown-ass man.
So creepy.
And that freaked me out. That really freaked me out.
But that's the normal response. When you realize it is a full-on grown-up, you're like, oh my God, that's terrifying. This girl is 13 and she knows that he's a grown-up and she doesn't care. I think because she's just so desperate probably to get out of the situation that she's in now. And there's not much that you can do about that as a brother or a sister. I don't know. Yeah. Except try to be as supportive as you can in the household and try to be, which is not fair to you either. No. But it's unfortunate that that's the fucking situation because your mom's a shitty parent and a shitty alcoholic.
Or maybe try to like step in more as if you were the parent. I'm not saying that like that's not your responsibility. It's really not. But maybe if you just like sat her down and just had a conversation like, hey, do you need anything?
Yeah.
Our lives kind of suck and I'm just trying to look out for you. Like, what's going on? Just talk to me.
Spend some time with her too.
Hey, you want to watch a movie tonight?
Yes. I was literally just going to say movie nights. Yeah.
And just hang out with your sibling.
Yeah,
they'll way open up to you. If you're prying, no kid will open up to you. If you just go, yeah, let's just watch a movie. It might take a couple tries.
But eventually.
But it'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that that's a really good idea. You have to do something, and you definitely have to tell the cops, even if you can't report him. But like Jenna said, you get his number if you can.
Get his number, get anything.
Any information you can, because you gotta start keeping an eye on this.
Steal her phone, even if you've got no clue. Like, if she goes to the bathroom, go take it out of her room and just try to get through it, do anything.
Yep.
And if she's, like, looking for it, put it back in another weird spot, and you could be like, oh, I saw it over there. She would never know.
Yeah.
She would never know.
Yeah. Whatever you have to do to get your hands on it.
Yeah.
Just figure it out. Also, it sucks that she's 13 and has a phone.
I know, that's the norm now.
Which is the norm, but also they have phones for, and I feel like if I was a parent, I'd probably do this for these same situations because you just don't fucking know. They have a phone, but they can only call certain numbers on it.
Yes.
So, like, you can call your parents, I'll let you call your friends, whatever it is. But, like, you get these 10 numbers, and those are the only numbers that you can call or that can call you. Everything else will be blocked because this is not cool.
Or they can get kids, like, flip phones. Like, why don't kids get flip phones anymore?
I had a flip phone.
I had a flip phone,
Yeah. I had a Motorola Razor.
Nick bought me my first phone. It was the NV3. My parents freaked out on him.
Really?
And then, because it was for my birthday, he goes, give me a list of stuff you want for your birthday because I don't know what you want. So I wrote a whole bunch of crazy ass shit on that list. Nick probably will tell you if he remembers, crazy shit was on this list. But the first thing that was on this list was like a cell phone. And he goes, well, that was the first thing on the list. And he went to the Verizon store and it wasn't all that expensive. So we got one for me for my 10th birthday.
Okay.
And then he also got one for my brother, so he wasn't jealous. So he got me a red one, he got my brother a blue one.
Oh, what a good brother.
My parents felt too bad taking it away from us, but they like reamed him for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See, it's a nice, thoughtful gift. And
But I was 10. And at the time, technology wasn't that advanced. So it was like, why are you giving this kid a phone?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that it's...
Look, he's laughing.
They also were angry that I gave her a good plan. It was the unlimited.
Oh, yes. He did the unlimited call
Oh.
text. Yeah.
No, they can't have unlimited. We're
Yeah.
married. It's like, well, why? You guys have money. Like, what's the difference? Like, you're saving money having it unlimited.
I remember
there's
this.
no crazy bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't see it that way.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was funny. I remember that. It was so funny.
Yeah, if they had like
Not for him, but for me, I guess.
I know. Poor Nick is just like, yeah, great.
He was just trying to get me a phone.
He was just trying to be a nice big brother. But again, like when you're a teenager, I wouldn't have thought about that with my little sibling when I was fucking 15. I'd be like, yeah, here's a phone. Like I wouldn't be thinking about the things that we have to think about now.
Right. Because they didn't exist.
Yeah. It was like a new technology. It was a new thing. Yeah, I agree with that. I wouldn't think twice about it back then. But now that we know that stranger danger is real and it's everywhere, you just hear about all of this stuff. Ugh.
Yep.
Oh, yuck. Okay. Well, this is creep. Why is everything so creep? There's so much incestuous, creepy stuff out there, and I hate it. Oh, God. All right. So this one. What can I do in a situation where my dad has been acting increasingly weird around me since I turned 17/18? Oh, he's always had an obsession with, I hate it. Always had an obsession with touching me in ways I've told him many times makes me uncomfortable, but since over a year ago, he started calling me babe/baby. And despite me telling him many times to stop, he still does it. Even worse, the other day he said I looked like his underage arranged marriage bride. I don't feel like his child anymore. Oh, God. Another time he forced me to get undressed when we were in my room. He was angry, and I was upset and confused because it was way too early to be getting undressed for bed. Not to mention how uncomfortable I was with doing it in front of him. No shit.
Sister, I'm not even being a jerk about this. Is this like a stepfather or someone that you might call him your dad because he came into your life at 2 and acts like he's your father? But is this? I would think
that if they're saying it's their dad, it's their dad. Yeah. Because I feel like that's not like it's a fucking in any way makes it okay, but I think that's like an important thing to distinguish when you're when you're telling the story. This is too much for me. I can't stand the discomfort I feel when I'm around him. When he touches me, it makes me want to scratch my skin raw. When he treats me as his girlfriend rather than a child, I don't even feel human anymore. Yeah. But there's physically nothing I can do to stop him. There's no one I can contact either. It's all my word and nothing else. There's no proof, and he's technically done nothing to physically hurt me, at least not recently. So, oh, great. My dad would pin me to the floor with my arms above my head and sit on me when either here I would fight or each other. My family used to get into physical fights a lot. I don't know what to do.
So, I hate to say it, there's crazy cases of parents doing this to their kids, like raping their children.
Yes, it happens way too much. Your dad's a fucking disgusting creep.
I know someone, I'm gonna be like super discreet. I know someone whose friend supposedly got taken advantage of by a family member, like by one of his parents. And I was talking to another person about it who was older, who I asked this person for advice, like, hey, I found out this information. And she went, oh, I know a friend that I used to like when I was younger, the same thing happened to him. And I was like, what? So that's 2 people that have gotten taken advantage of by their parents.
It's so gross. Like, there are already so many people that shouldn't be having kids because they're neglectful or they're just not good parents. That happens a lot too. Or they're abusive. And then there's this, which I feel like is just a whole other level of disgusting. Like, you had a kid so you could fuck it? Like, was that your plan? Or did it just, when you had the kid, you're like, wow, all of a sudden I have these gross incestuous feelings? Or did you think, like, I just don't.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how. So here's the thing. And we're saying this not to scare you. No. We're saying this because this is something that truly could happen. And we are trying to make you aware that this is not normal. Like, this shit totally not normal. Another thing. Does it say her age?
17 or 18 is when it started happening.
Go to your school.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, because I think the guidance counselors in schools are useless. But if you bring your problems to school, they're forced to do stuff about it. They are forced to be in contact.
That's true.
That's
true.
And you can be like, don't tell anyone, but I'm coming to you. And if you keep coming, even if you're like planting the seed, right? If you go once and you go talk to a counselor, again, majority of the counselors, guys, I'm sorry out there if you're a counselor for school, they're useless. They are useless.
I don't remember mine doing anything.
They have to get involved if there is a child in danger, is uncomfortable, something is happening that they can step in. They 100% will.
Yeah.
So take advantage of those school counselors. They might not tell you anything useful, but they will step in 100%.
Yeah. No, you absolutely. Tell as many people as you can. Tell your friends, tell counselors, but tell people, make this a known thing. Right. Absolutely. And if you can, really create boundaries of like when you sleep at night, you keep your door fucking locked. If you can, install your own what is it, like a deadbolt lock, whatever you can install on the door.
Like parents might get like pissed about that.
Yeah.
My thing is like, here's the thing too, you can have a conversation with your father. Like, I know you said I don't like, and you've told him I don't like when you call me babe and baby and blah blah blah. But if he says like, oh, like, let's get dressed for bed, you can go, okay, well, I'm a woman. I know that you were my father and you've seen me when I was a child, but I'm not comfortable with you looking at my naked body. Point blank, is he going to argue that you're not comfortable? And you could say, Dad, like this, like, okay, bring mom in here. That's another thing.
There is a mom there.
Okay, well, bring anyone else in the room. Hey, so if I'm getting changed, then I want someone else to be in the room. That's just it. Do it like a doctor's office.
You can try that. I think that,
I don't know.
I think that at this point, she's already had the conversation. Like, she's already told him that he makes her uncomfortable and he's obviously ignoring her. You can try to have a conversation. I think we're past conversations now, though.
I think we are too, but like, have you been like super assertive with it? Or have you just been like, oh my God, stop? Like,
true.
One thing I find too is parents can be so stupid, and sometimes you got to sit them down multiple times and go, this is the deal. I don't like it when. I statements. And then just hit him with a bunch of I statements.
Yeah.
I am uncomfortable when. I am an adult. So, because of this, you need to stop doing this. This isn't how I would just hit it with that. Get your school involved. Tell your friends, do anything. If you really get the school involved, they might call DIFUS, and you can be like, not if your parents asked, I haven't said anything. Maybe someone like saw it happening or got concerned or whatever. Because if he gets the crap scared out of him too, that other people now know, he might stop. This might just like end everything, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. And the sooner that, you're 18, the sooner that you can get out of that house, I think the better.
Yeah.
You know?
Even if you have to like live with like a friend or like rent, seriously too. Like, rent a room or something with, like, a friend's family. Like,
that's the first thing I did.
Taken in by a friend, yeah.
Yeah. The first thing, when I moved out, the first thing I did was I rented a room. And depending on where you're at, a room is a much more affordable option as opposed to
Yes.
trying to rent your own place, because a lot of times, especially now, you can't afford that. But if you're renting a room, it significantly cuts down on the cost. And it's definitely, I don't know what your work situation is, or if you even just have a friend that you can stay with.
Yeah.
But I would say get out of that house as soon as possible. Lock your doors at night.
Yeah.
Lock your doors
Yeah.
when you're changing. No one has the right to make you feel uncomfortable, and you should not be getting undressed in front of your father. That's like,
no.
like as soon as I didn't need help changing anymore, my
was.
dad wasn't anywhere near me when I was changing. Like
I
that's
remember
not.
being like 6 or 7 years old, and I had to use the bathroom or something. My dad was standing there, and I looked at him, I'm like, "Can you turn around?" He goes, "Jen, I used to change you every day. Like, why does this matter?" And I was like, no. And that's all it took for him to be like, "Oh, okay, my daughter's at that age. She doesn't want me to, see her anymore. Fine."
Yeah.
But I remember same thing. I was probably like 6 years old, and as soon as I just felt a little uncomfortable. I'm like, "Dad, you need to turn around." That was where it all stopped. But
I don't even remember my dad ever. Yeah, like I think it was too young. I'm trying to think of like the last time I remember my dad like helping me get dressed or changing me, like, because I think they used to, judging by the pictures that you saw me, and my parents also used to let me pick my own clothes and dress myself. And there were some bad like
that was me
dresses,
in middle school.
oh, dresses over pants,
God,
like all kinds of weird shit where I was like, what are you? All right, I guess you guys let me do this. A bicycle helmet with a velvet dress that had poofy sleeves, like those were the outfits I was picking out. But yeah, no, your father shouldn't be anywhere near you when you're changing. That's so
your
weird.
father's a predator.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's a predator. I'm not saying he is. It sounds like
he is. Yeah.
What ethnicity are you? Not even saying this to be a jerk off. I'm saying this from pure observation. Some people, whatever ethnicity they are, have different boundaries. So not making it right, but I'm saying he might just have this is what I do with, other people. This is what our family members do, blah, 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 because that's what they just know. Not saying it's right, but I'm saying it could be this is what they grew up doing thing, because that's their ethnicity.
Maybe, but some of it, though, that's weird is that he calls her
100%.
baby.
Yeah.
You look like an underage arranged marriage bride.
That's scary.
Ugh.
That's scary. But some people just do things differently because that's how they're raised. And for that culture, it's normal. Like that, and that's what I'm saying. It's like a cultural. I'm not trying to be like a racist or say anything about whatever color skin you are. I'm not.
Right.
I'm saying like culturally speaking, sometimes these are the norms. And again, it's not right, but that might play a role.
Maybe.
So
yeah. Oh man, yeah, definitely tell as many people as you can. Dear God. Oh boy, this is fun. Moving on. I'm a 14-year-old female, and I'm not and have never been sexually active. Good.
okay.
However, my mom for some reason thinks I am and talks about how I need to stop whoring myself out. She put me on birth control, but it makes me feel really terrible and depressed. I keep telling her I'm still a virgin, but she can't seem to understand that and acts like I'll do it with anyone who wants it. She's really pissing me off. She's essentially calling me a slut when I have zero plans to even lose my virginity until 18 at the very least. How do I convince her to get me off the pill? Wow, so your mom's also abusive. Cool. What the fuck is up with all these horrible abusive parents? Like, who goes around to their kid and tells them, you're whoring yourself out, when they're not?
Here's the other thing, too. If you were sexually active at 14, no 14-year-old would debate their parents about being on the pill. If you were actually, like, having sex or becoming active. I went on the pill at 14 because I had ovarian cysts, and that is the age. That is 13 and 14, as disgusting as it is now the age kids become sexually active. So, with that being said, no parent, no kid will debate their child if they are sexually active that, like, not to have the pill.
I wonder if she watches you, like, does she watch you take it? You can do that trick that they do under at hospitals when people put it under your tongue. Yeah,
you just like throw the pills out
and then
just pop them out.
Yeah, or do that every time she gets more. Just pop them out and just be like, I'm not taking these.
Throw them in the trash, flush them. Yeah. Every night when you're getting ready for bed, pop it out, pop whatever day out, just throw them away.
Yeah.
She's not watching you take it. That solves that. Here's the thing. Schedule an appointment with your
Flush it down the
gynecologist. I mean, here's the thing, too. I know when I was that age, my mom would, like, sit in the appointments with me, and if I wanted to be alone, she would assume that I would, like, tell the doctor something scandalous or whatever. So that's a touchy one, because I can always say, like, you can go and speak to your doctor, but your mom, if it sounds like she's pretty controlling, she might go, well, if you're telling her something, you can tell me, sweetie. I'm your parent. You're not 18 yet. So
That sounds like what this mom would be doing, yeah.
I'm not saying that's what my mom did, but that's what my mom did. You know?
Yeah. I'm not saying that's what but she definitely did that. God, it's so weird. I grew up without a mom, so I just don't have any of these sorts of experiences. And it's funny, I was just talking to my dad about this the other night. We were talking about, and I'm not going to get into the trans conversation, but we were talking about trans kids and those sorts of things, and just sort of getting, because we're talking about, we got into politics and we talked about that kind of stuff. And
politics.
Yeah, the fun thing to talk about. My dad and I are typically on the same page with a lot of that stuff, though. But anyway, it was just funny because we're talking about it. And again, I'm not going to get into what he said or what we were talking about, but it just turned to the thing of like, he's like, you know, a lot more parents now, they have the talk with their kids about the birds and the bees. And he's like, my whole thing as a parent was, I just never talked about it. And it's true. He's like, I just didn't want to know, pretend like it wasn't there, it didn't happen. And it's true, because my dad never talked to us about sex. He didn't want to know. He didn't want to hear anything about it. He was like, these are my daughters, they're my babies. I don't want to we did not have that conversation with him. We didn't have the period talk. My stepmom came in kind of at the period talk time and had one of those with me. And I was like, oh, fucking great. Her and her college friend went into detail about it.
Nice.
Yeah, like really intense detail.
I
like
had the period
talking
talk
about
with
brown
my dad.
discharge. Your dad gave you the period talk?
Well, like, I knew what periods
Wow.
were, but my mom, we were at, like, a weird stage in a relationship. So here's the thing. My mom was always, like, honestly, like, a nice woman to me. I just had some other shit I was dealing with, like, actually, like, you know, at home. So I didn't really like her all that much, for not a good reason. It was not a good reason, so I wasn't close with her. So the first time I got my period, I was supposed to go on a motorcycle ride with my father, and I, like, waddled to him, because I told him I had to pee. Because I felt weird. And I, like, waddled to him. And he's like, all right, you ready to go? He hands me his helmet. I'm like, we can't go anymore. Yes, he goes, why? I was in 6th grade. He goes, why? What's wrong? And I go, Dad, I got my period. And he goes, okay, let's get in the car. And I was like, why? He was like, well, we need to go get pads and tampons and stuff. And he sat there in the store showing me all the different pads and tampons and buying me all sizes and explaining how to use them and blah, blah, blah.
That's so nice.
Oh my God. And then my mom was the next person. The second time I got it, I let her know. Or it was the second or third time I told her. She never knew I had my period until, like, I think it was the third time I got it, because my dad wasn't there to buy me tampons. And I told my mom, and she got me the cardboard ones because they were cheap with, like, the tip and stuff. I'm in 6th grade, girl. No. You can't have a blunt end like that. No. So I told my dad, and my dad had to talk with my mom that she's not allowed to get me tampons anymore.
Oh, that's so funny. Usually it's like the other way around.
Oh, no. My dad was, like, on top of that shit.
That's
like,
good.
On top of it, yeah.
See, that's nice. And not that I expect, you know, our mom died when we were so young. And so my dad was left with these 2 daughters, and he was, I think, 25 or something. Wow, 25, they grew weed and played in a rock band. He was not equipped for this. He was not like, oh, well, he used to do my hair in ponytails, but he would put a little fountain on the top of my head because it was the only thing he knew how to do. Mm-hmm. So there's school pictures of me with a little ponytail that's just like, I look like a Who from Whoville.
That's was so funny, though.
Horrible.
That's adorable.
It was so terrible, and it did not help me getting made fun of. But yeah, so it was just funny. We're having this conversation. We just never talked about sex. So it's so weird to have these, and I didn't have any kind of parental guidance like that. I went to Planned Parenthood myself. When I first started having sex, I was 16. Wow. I was like about to turn 17. I was just about to turn 17. I was 16 when I lost my virginity, and I went with my friends to Planned Parenthood. And I gotta say, I fucking love Planned Parenthood. They are the reason I've never had to get an abortion or never had to do any of these things as a teenager, because I went and I got on birth control, and they gave me regular pap smears and they gave me condoms, and I got on birth control immediately. And the people there were amazing. The gynecologist who I used to see, wow. I even remember her name. It was Rochelle.
That's great.
Oh my God, it was the best experience. And it was one of those things. I never had any teen pregnancies. I never got scared because I didn't need to have a parent, and they made sure that I had everything that I needed.
That's beautiful.
It was awesome.
Planned Parenthood for us, I guess because there wasn't one local, like, wasn't even a thing. They would, like, give condoms to the schools, and sometimes on these random days, they would, like, pass out, like, condoms from Planned Parenthood. Or if we had, like, a school fair, they would have this little basket, but, like, that was the extent of it. We were not educated on Planned Parenthood.
Wow.
We didn't know shit about any of it because who knows. But we still took, like, we had health classes telling us, you know, just wear condoms and birth control and stuff.
Yeah, the health classes in school are not great. I remember those too. They tell you the usual, like, if you get pregnant, and then they show you the pictures of the STDs that look all disgusting and terrible. They're trying to scare the shit out of you. Like, that's going to stop horny teenagers from having sex. Absolutely not.
For a school, like, project, for the end of the year project for our health classes, he assigned, I had this teacher, he was so funny. I love this guy. He was like an ex-military dude. The guy was massive, and he would like teach us about, he was the gym teacher, but then he would teach us about like, oh my God, he was
always the gym teacher.
He was so funny, and like the scariest man ever, but like also like the most down-to-earth nice man. So at the end of the year, the project was he assigned everyone a different like STD or STI. So me and like these other girls got like genital warts. Oh, no. And of course I loved my PowerPoints because I took like a computer class that made PowerPoints like cool. Oh, so I would put like flashing lights on the PowerPoints. The backgrounds were moving. There's pictures of genital warts everywhere. And it's like blinking different colors. And then they got to my PowerPoint and everyone was like, what? And my friends who were both on it with me, like, did like 1 or 2 slides and didn't know what the rest looked like. Like, one slide my friend Taylor did had like dead fish as the background, and then there was like genital warts everywhere, and like I had like rainbows and shit. Oh, it was
everybody's
the funniest fucking thing I've ever done. Like,
Jenna's the only girl that can make genital warts seem fun.
It was a party in health class that day. Like, I'm getting down with some genital warts.
You know what? I kind of want to get genital warts. This actually seems cool now. That's so great.
And my 2 partners looking at me, they were losing their shit with this PowerPoint I put together. And I mean, we got an A.
Hey,
it had all of the information on it. It just was spunky.
It was just
a spunky PowerPoint about genital warts.
I love that so much.
And this teacher was just
spunky.
And he was trying to keep his like military facade, like, but he was like guy. Cracking smiles, and he was like, I cannot believe you did this. I was like, well, what? You gave me a PowerPoint on genital warts. What was I supposed to do with that?
You're like, I had to make it cool. Like, what do you? Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you.
What was the original question?
It was about a mom making her.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, about her kid.
Just spit it out.
On birth control. Yeah, I would spit it out, and if you can.
Do you have a dad?
Throw it away. Good question. Do you have a dad?
Or do you have another family member, aunt, someone that you can have a sit down talk with them?
Yeah.
Because like I am dead serious. Like if you go to the other person and you go, can you have a conversation? Because and you could say it this way. I am not equipped to have this conversation with my mom because when I try to, I don't know how to go about it. I am 14 and just don't know how to go about this conversation, and she doesn't believe me. So if you go out of your way to talk to another adult about this problem and go, I am making another adult aware of this, can you speak to my mom? No adult's gonna look at you and go, this kid's bullshitting. Because who the hell goes to that much effort to like have someone speak with your mother?
Yeah, it's like, a lot. That's a lot.
So I think that other adults would appreciate that. I think the only thing is some other people might go, well, you know, I'm not your mom and I can't say these things to your mom. But I've also heard that. I've also heard that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if one adult says, I'm not going to talk to your mom because I'm not your parent, go to a different adult. Like, just go through your family members.
Yeah, definitely. See what you can do. That's actually a good point because adults often won't listen to teenagers or their kids, but they will listen to other adults for whatever reason. It's definitely worth trying at least just to see. But otherwise, spit them out unless she watches you take them. You know, keep throwing them away because it's just, if it's making you feel like crap. That was the other thing.
You're not paying for it anyway. Who cares?
Yeah, good point.
You know, maybe you got insurance, maybe you don't, but
you're not paying for it.
Who cares?
She's making you do it, so screw that.
Forcing you to take pills, like don't,
Which is so, like, Jesus, just because they're your kid, they still should have bodily autonomy over themselves. They should decide what medications they take or don't take. Like, you can't force people to put things in their body. Go ahead.
you could just switch too. Like, I know, like, some birth controls will make some people feel like crap, and others, like, you have to just go through the cycles.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
too.
like, for me, birth control makes me feel like garbage, but since I have to get my IUD taken out, my doctor said I need a whole point where my body needs to heal because it's going to be all messed up. And then she wants to try out a bunch of different birth controls with me. So, like, I'm going to be going like this for a while, but at some point, I will find a birth control and everything will be fine. Yeah. So maybe have that conversation with your mom. Hey, Mom, I'm not sexually active, don't like taking this, but if you want me to take this, can I try a different birth control?
Can we try some other ones? Because this makes me feel terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also a conversation worth having. Maybe she'll listen to that.
And here's the thing. A year from now, a lot of people say they're going to wait, and then you're going to meet someone you really like, and you might not wait. Yeah. That's how it goes with pretty much every... Not saying it will go like that with you, but I'm saying, like, that's a theme. I'm going to wait. I can't believe kids are having sex this early. And then, bam, suddenly, like, you have no shirt on, and you sit there and go, oh, like, what happened?
Oh, well, that happened.
Oh, well, now my boobs are out, and
It is kind of interesting how when it happens, it just happens.
Yeah.
It really, really does. Like, I was not at all planning or anticipating my first time. It was just, I really liked the guy.
Neither was I.
Nope. It's just, you don't. I really liked the guy, and I was like, okay. And then we just did it, and I was like, well, that happens.
I didn't even like the guy.
Oh,
I, like, did, but, like...
Not like, oh.
And he still doesn't know. All right, I just said
she
a little...
told me a secret.
I told her a secret.
We can't
because if anyone sees it on this, to this day,
it's
my first person I had sex with is, like, still a secret. I'm gonna, like, maybe let it out in, like, a few more years.
It's a good secret, though.
Yeah,
just so you all know, it's a good secret.
But it was like okay, funny. I'll do this now. And then I was going on a music tour. Like, I think it was, like, 2 weeks later. So on the music tour, I, like, actually, like, kind of, I guess, had, like, my first time. Because my first time, it wasn't really working.
Like, you know? He couldn't make it work?
Like, he was... I hope my dad doesn't watch this. He was very well endowed. Dad doesn't watch this. And I was... I'm a tiny 5'1" female that has never had sex before.
Gotcha. Yep.
So...
That can be tough.
Yeah, so like then I like actually kind of like had my first time on the last night of my music tour.
Okay.
So that was my story. But I was 16. I just turned 16 and I didn't think I was going to be having sex at 16. No way in hell.
I didn't either.
And it just happened like that.
Yep. Definitely wasn't like, I can't wait to have sex.
Oh yeah, no, it just happened.
Yeah, it just is like one of those things where you're in the situation, you're like, okay, well, this is happening now.
Yeah.
I'm happy and fortunate that my first time wasn't a shitty or traumatic experience.
Oh, mine wasn't either. It just wasn't like working. And when that was the beautiful thing too. When I said like, this isn't really working. Like this person went, yeah, okay, like that's fine.
Oh, that's so nice.
And they just stopped.
My whole heart.
We just stopped. And I was like, thank you. Thank you so much for just
people.
Stopping. Yeah.
The best people.
He was a little older too. So like, I was kind of expecting to like have to convince him to stop, but it was just one of those things. I was like, yeah, this isn't really like happening, it's a little uncomfortable, and he was like, yeah, it's your first time, like no problem. And we just went to bed.
Want to live in a world where it's always like that.
It's always like that.
It's just always like that. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I feel like we gave a lot of good advice, and we also, the audience got to know us.
They really got to know me.
You guys know a lot more about Jenna. Be nice in the comments. This is this is Nick's sister.
Feel free to rip me apart. I'll come right back at you.
No, I mean like don't get too creepy is what I'm saying. This is Nick's sister. I'm looking at you guys.
I might be 23, but I'm still just a baby. I'm still just Nick's little sister.
No, but everybody's been so sweet. That makes me really happy to hear. You guys are
Send
awesome.
me lovely DMs. They all follow me and they like comment stuff. It's really been like so nice.
Yay. And if more people who maybe didn't see the first episode want to follow you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram. It's at JenJamBasile. So that's
JenJam.
JenJam. And then Basile is basil and then stick an E at the end.
That's
like basil the plant.
easier way of saying it.
Oh, because instead of being like B as in boy,
that's what I always have to do.
Oh no, just go spell basil and shove an E at the end.
Oh my God, why have I never thought of that? Making appointments for Nick is a damn nightmare because I'm always like, B as in boy, A, S,
Sam.
Yes, every time.
My mom does that, and I'm like, I can't stand. But she's like spelling out her name.
No, but that makes a lot more sense. Basil, and then put an E at the end of it.
Jen Jam, basil with an E.
Follow her. Go follow her. Do you have TikTok or anything like that?
I do not. I do have a reptile page, but I'm actually going to change that reptile page into a real estate page. So if you're into real estate, at some point I will be swapping over. Like just this page will be the same page, but I'm deleting all of that and changing it into real estate. So if you want to learn about subject to investing, seller financing, just regular cash offers, off markets, direct to sellers, how to talk to sellers, stuff like that, feel free to check me out. At some point, I'm going to get a whole real estate thing going, so that should be good.
You guys can get in on the ground floor.
Yes.
Do it.
Get some knowledge while we're in there.
Yeah, learn some stuff. Hit the like button on this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps us out a ton. Apparently, 50% of the viewers are not subscribed. Hit the subscribe button. It's like right up there. Yeah. Turn the notifications on so you know when a new episode comes out.
She's so cute. You don't want to see her face every time she uploads a video. You don't want to just get a little bing like,
not when I do this. You're so sweet. And then I'm just making faces. I'm like, yeah, don't you want to see this face? Isn't this really cute? And yeah, subscribe to my Twitch channel. I also stream on Twitch. It's XiaLand there as well, XiaLand. And subscribe to my OnlyFans. The episodes go up a week early, and then there's also other stuff there. And let me tell you, just paid for a lot of equipment and a lot of things that make this kind of stuff possible. So if you want to support, that's a cool way to do it. And thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, see you later.
Bye. Thank you.